Hey there, and welcome back to The Hot Slice with Pizza Today magazine. I am your host, Denise Greer, executive editor here at Pizza Today. And with me is our fearless leader, Jeremy White, editor
Hey
in chief.
Denise, good afternoon.
Did you like that fearless leader part?
I thank you. I tip my hat for that.
So you are a very, very, very busy man right now because we're getting ready to go to Pizza and Pasta Northeast, and you put together the educational sessions.
I'm really excited about it. The lineup is really good. There's something for everyone. The men and women who are leading the seminars and the demonstrations, they are in the trenches, owning, operating, running highly successful pizzerias. They've seen the good, bad, the ugly. They've experienced firsthand themselves. They've figured it out oftentimes the hard way. And now they are bringing their advice to the attendees of PPNE, Pizza and Pasta Northeast in Atlantic City. I'm really excited about it. I'm also excited about the competitions just walking around the show floor, talking to pizzeria owners from across the country, but mostly throughout the Northeast. There'll be a few from other pockets of the nation who make it there, but it's primarily a Northeast event, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it.
So we just released on the last episode that we are going to be taking the podcast to PPNE, but in a different way. We are going to do some on the street interviewing, or on the show floor interviewing. And
we're going to roam the floor.
Yeah, so it'll be fun because you can like literally just walk up to us, tap Jeremy on the shoulder, and be like, "Hey, I want to be on the podcast." And then
interview me on the spot now.
And I may just walk up to you and be like, "Hey, you're so-and-so on the name tag here, talk to me."
Tell me about your pizzeria. No pressure.
No
just
pressure
tell me about your pizzeria. That's not hard, right?
And it's all going to be just audio. There's no video. We're not going to do any video on it. We might take your picture, but that's it. So it should be really fun. I'm excited for Pizza and Pasta Northeast. And I'm also very excited about our guest because when I was a kid, I went to a pizzeria like this, and I still have memories of this pizzeria I used to go to. That was this huge pizzeria, and it had a massive organ in the middle of its like performance stage. And I just remember it being so fun. Like that's where I always picked to go to for my birthdays, and I just loved it. I mean, every occasion we would always pick to go there. It was called Pizza Palace in Indianapolis, and it was on the east side of Indianapolis, and we used to pick that spot because we loved going and putting in, and they would play pop music. Well, guess what? Our pizzeria we're talking to today, they play anything and everything because it's all by request.
Pizza Palace is no longer there.
No, it's gone. So it's gone along with almost every other organ. They call them pipes and pizzas. It's kind of the style of restaurant. So there are actually only two left.
And one outside Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, and then one in Mesa, Arizona, and it is called Organ Stop Pizza. So we've got Jack Barz on the show today, and he's going to tell us a lot about Organ Stop, and it's got such a rich history. I mean, it's been around for 50 years. Now you're going to look at Jack. He's not been there since the beginning. He's a younger guy. So
it's really cool, Denise, because it's a relic from the past, kind of like the drive-in movie theaters. There's certainly more than two drive-ins in operation around the country right now. But once upon a time, what a big night out it was, just like you said. And now they're just two. And what a cool piece of Americana. What a unique, and we'll talk to Jack about his organ. It's a Wurlitzer. It's I think he's going to tell us this. I think it's the largest one in the world of its kind. It's something to behold. I've never been, full disclosure, I've never been in person. I've seen YouTube videos, I've seen photographs, but it's something to behold. And that's just seeing the photos. I can't imagine seeing and hearing it in person.
Absolutely. And here's a little fun fact. So one of our team has gone to Organ Stop. So Josh, who was not
That's right.
available for this
That's
podcast,
right. That's
he
right.
went to Oregon Stop to take photos of the pizzeria in the Oregon during our unique issue. Do you remember
I
how long ago that was?
I
That
do
was
remember
in
that, and that was probably,
2012.
I was gonna say 12 years ago, 10 to 12
Yeah,
years ago. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
that
yeah.
was so he went to Oregon Stop. So he's actually been there, listened to the Oregon, and he said it was amazing. So it's kind of sad that we couldn't get him on the podcast too, since he's been there.
Yeah.
But so someone on our team has been there. But I definitely want to go. Next time I'm in Phoenix, I'm definitely going to go. But
Yeah, same here.
yeah, let's get Jack on and just learn all about a piece of just American and even pizza history. This is a
Yeah.
piece of pizza history too.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide. Bacio is celebrating its 10-year anniversary, a decade of exceptional Italian pizza cheese, unmatched consistency, and partners that have become family. If you haven't had the chance to try it, purchase Bacio today and enroll in the Gold Club to receive cash back for every pound you buy. That's right, get rewarded for every single pound of cheese purchased. Schedule a demonstration at baciocheese.com/hotslice to learn more. Pizza is your legacy. Build it with Bacio. Looking to grow your pizzeria or restaurant? Then you'll want to try the power of a cloud-based POS system. With Hunger Rush, you'll get everything you need. This fully integrated restaurant management system allows you to easily streamline operations, accelerate the delivery process, and grow your business through Hunger Rush 360 marketing. And it's so easy to use. Want AI-powered text ordering? It's built in. Need to track orders? No problem. Schedule a personalized demo at hungerrush.com today.
All right. Jack, you guys just had a pretty big anniversary, right? 50 years. Oh my goodness.
We absolutely did. Yeah, it's pretty amazing celebrating 50 years. For one restaurant, it's amazing. There's not too many of us around that have that honor. And, it's one of those things where we owe it entirely to the community.
Yeah.
We're so blessed to be, loved by the community so much.
Yeah. And it's not only the 50 years, but doing it as a pizzeria with a very specific niche with the organ, not Oregon, with the organ. Like it is really like it's so much fun. I remember going to one as a kid, and they're just gone.
Yeah,
they are. Yeah, there used to be quite a few of them throughout the country, and it's basically two of us left now, us, and then there's one outside Milwaukee. They're much smaller than us.
Yeah.
But same concept. But the niche part of it is, and I think one of the things that has made us so successful is that we appeal to all age groups. So it's a total family treat to come there. So it doesn't matter if you're 2 or 102.
Yeah.
Everybody comes in and they just have a good time. There's all kinds of things to see and do and hear and smell and all of that type of stuff. So it's a great family environment.
Yeah. Now, do you think of it more as like when we used to go, it was kind of like one of those special occasions kind of things, like we went for birthdays or to celebrate something. Is your market more of that, or do you have a lot of regulars that are coming in, weekly or even more than once a week, just to come out?
For the most part, I would say we're a destination place.
Yes.
That it's just like, you plan an event to come to Oregon Stop Pizza. It's not, part of it is because we're not on every street corner or anything like that. I don't know if you're familiar with the Phoenix area or not, but we're big, we're wide, there's nothing that goes up, everything just goes out. So we do get visitors from the entire valley. But it's definitely one of those things where you come to it. But we do have our regulars too, more of the people that live in the general area. We actually have one couple that they have been coming in every night, every single night for probably the last 2 years, I think it is. They come in about the same time every night. They always order a small pepperoni, 2 large iced teas, get 2 scoops of ice cream and buy 2 to 3 little stuffed animals from our gift shop. It's pretty funny.
That is fun. I love that. I love that. Now, right before we got on to doing this this broadcast, we were just talking with you, and you seat 700.
We do.
And you're constantly selling that out. Like, tell me about how you're able to do this.
It's an 18,000 square foot building. The dining room is 2 stories, so we seat 400 people on the main floor, 300 people upstairs. The upstairs is actually kind of like a horseshoe shaped balcony type of thing. So you look down on other customers and where the organ console rises up and all of that type of stuff. So there's really, it's a good view wherever you are in the building. We're very seasonal. So our winter season is the busiest when all of the winter visitors are visiting from up north and back east and all that kind of stuff. You know, the whole Phoenix market just goes crazy during, January, February, March. But during that time is when, we're filled to capacity every single night. You know, it's not uncommon for us to open up the doors at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon and have a line of about 100 people waiting to get in. And that line just stays out the door all night until 6:30, 7 o'clock at night.
Wow.
How many ovens? I'm curious about the kitchen operations for that sort of seating. If there are 700 people dining at the same time, obviously they're not all getting their orders at the exact same time, but 700 people in the building dining with you. What's your kitchen staffing like? How many pizza ovens are in operation on a really busy night?
First off, we're incredibly efficient in the way that we work. We have a 3-deck Middleby Marshall 570 oven, so it's gas fired. It takes about 5.5 minutes to cook a pizza at 500 degrees. So it's actually, with the 3 decks on it, we're capable of producing about 200 pizzas an hour.
Oh, wow.
And, in the staff, as far as the kitchen goes on a busy winter night, we'll have 3 people taking cashiering, taking orders, because everything is counter service.
Okay.
Then we'll have about 10 or 11 people making pizzas, filling up the bins as we're making them, making sure that we've got all the correct size pizza skins going and ready to go. A couple people that will be working our sandwich, appetizer, pasta station, and then we'll have 2 to 3 other people up on the oven, pulling pizzas, cutting them, serving them, wrapping up leftovers, all that kind of stuff. So it's a well-oiled machine. We're total old school. We have cash registers, not POS. All of the orders that come in, we have little order tickets, and they handwrite each order on these little index cards, give the customer a number, and then when their pizzas come out, we light a number up. It looks like a Keno board out in the dining room, and then they come up and pick it up. So everything's totally old school.
Wow.
We actually just like just over a year ago, we actually just started taking credit cards.
Oh, wow. You were cash only for all that. Wow.
We are that old school. Yeah. There's 2 restaurants in Arizona that are well known for not taking credit cards. It was us, and then there's another burger place over by ASU. And we actually, funny enough, both of us started in 1972. Yeah. I know. And they still aren't taking credit cards. They're still holding out their cash only.
You guys have been successful for 50 years. What was the hesitation not to go into the new technology route? And how have you been able to, deal with customers in the same respect? How are you able to communicate that with them, or do they automatically know, hey, if we're going to Oregon Stop, we've got to have cash?
A lot of them knew. We had it advertised everywhere, all over our website, our social media, on the doors, all of that type of stuff. We had it that we don't take credit cards. So, a lot of people, because they come back year after year after year, they know.
Absolutely.
But we also, for the ones that didn't know and didn't show up with cash, we have an ATM in the lobby that they can go use. So, that helps out. We got to the point where we had to really end up doing it because there are so many large groups that come in, like I said, especially on Saturday nights, that's party nights. It's party central night. So we do a lot of birthday parties, a lot of anniversaries, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And for people to, host a group of 30 or 40 people and expect them to have that cash. I mean, we do take checks, but who carries a checkbook anymore?
No.
So to expect that from them, we had to finally bite the bullet and say, all right, we'll start paying these fees. We don't want to, but we will.
I imagine that was an initial hit for you guys too, to go from cash only to, because I imagine people switched pretty quickly to using their charge cards in the business.
They do. We've averaged, since we did start taking them, it's close to 70% of the people use a credit or debit card every night.
Oh yeah.
And that has actually stayed very consistent. It's pretty interesting.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I thought that would actually build in the last 15 or so months, but it's like right there. It's really interesting.
Now, do you do carry out or delivery, or is it just it's because it's the destination and the entertainment, it's just dine in?
Yeah, we don't do delivery at all. We do a little bit of carry out, but most people want to come in for the entertainment. So, the people that we do carry out for, they're the ones in the immediate area, because once again, since it is such a destination, you're not going to drive, from Phoenix, drive 30 minutes to get our food.
So let's talk about the organ for a minute. Is it a mechanical self-playing organ, or do you have an actual human who plays the organ? And if so, I really want to hear the story behind that too, because is it like this 85-year-old organist who has been playing for 50 years, or do you have a bunch of young musicians that come in? How does it work out?
It is played every night by somebody. There is a player unit hooked up to it that they can record themselves, and we can play back. But every night it actually has somebody up there live playing. For many years, we had actually, for about the last 25-ish years, until like 2 years ago, we had the same two guys playing, Lou Williams and Charlie Baylog. A couple of years ago, Charlie suffered a stroke and passed away pretty suddenly. And so we had our longtime sub, his name is Brett Valiant, who lived in Wichita, Kansas. We brought him on board. We moved him out here, and he came on and took Charlie's position. Wow. And then Lou, who is late 60s, he just retired last year.
Yeah.
So we brought our replacement sub for Brett. His name is Glenn. Glenn lived in Chicago. We moved Glenn out here last year, and so they're playing now. So Glenn is, I think, 35, and Brett just turned 40, something like that. And then our newest substitute, his name is Seamus Gethiker. He lives in Maine. He's a 23-year-old guy, so he's a youngin'. And so he's now our main sub, so that Glenn and Brett can go off and play concerts, take vacation time, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we fly him in to play for us.
So can you play it yourself?
I can play Jingle Bells with my right hand. That's all I can do. So I got the main chorus to Jingle Bells.
That's hilarious.
Other than that, now the most I can do for the instrument is hold keys while they're tuning. Pipes.
I'll say it's probably, I'm not a musician. No one wants me to be a musician. Trust me, I'm awful. But I can think that it's probably takes a lot of maintenance to keep that huge. Because let people know kind of what the size of this organ is. It's like one of the biggest, isn't it?
It's the largest Wurlitzer theater pipe organ in the world.
Yeah.
So, and Wurlitzer is the brand name of it.
Yeah. Right.
There were, when theater organs came back were invented back in the 1910s and 20s, Wurlitzer was like the number one. So it's like it's the Lexus of theater organs.
Yeah.
And so it has about 6,000 pipes. The console where the organists sit, that's really, as one of the organists explains it, that's kind of like the steering wheel. He's just driving the bus. And so that doesn't make any noise. It doesn't do anything but control everything else. So maintenance on it, really the best maintenance that you can do on a pipe organ such as ours is play it on a regular basis, so nothing gets old. So ours gets played 363 days a week or a year. And we do have a maintenance guy that he works Monday and Tuesday every week. He comes in and works about 16-20 hours a week to just keep it in absolutely perfect condition. Theater organists from all around the world want to come in and play our instrument because it is in such tip-top shape.
Because I was curious, in a pizzeria, flour tends to get anywhere and everywhere. So is that a problem? Does flour get into the organ and become either problematic or just needs cleaned out, or does that not really happen?
No, it really doesn't happen. The organ itself and everything related to the organ have their own HVAC systems. So it's completely closed off from the rest of the building. And even like the design of the building, the dining room is more set up as an auditorium. So in order to get into it from like the main service area and order counters and all of that type of stuff, there's little doors that you have to walk through. So, it's kind of walled off. You don't really, when you're ordering and stuff like that, you don't even see what's going on in the dining room. You can hear it, but you don't really get to see what's going on until you kind of come around the corner and then walk into it. And then you just see this huge display.
Jack, can you talk about your pizza a little bit? Because I was sitting here thinking that, even if someone comes because of the organ, if the pizza's horrific, they're not coming back. You're not having 700 people a night if the pizza's terrible, right? So talk about the food just a little bit.
It's a very basic menu. Like I said, we're old school. So it's pizza. We have a few sandwiches, a couple of pasta dinners, some appetizers, and a salad bar. The pizza itself is kind of we call it a medium crust. It's thicker than a thin crust, but it's definitely not thick crust. But the way we've developed it is a nice soft doughy center, but it's very crispy on the bottom. So you can hold up a piece and it stays nice and straight generally as you're eating it. So it's a nice crispy bottom. We put a ton of toppings on. That's one of those things that we do. It's like, who wants to go eat just bread? So we make sure it's loaded with cheese first off, and then our toppings are very generous. That's one of the things people say most about our pizzas. They can't believe how much stuff we put on.
All right, so there's a caveat to that though, because I'm going to tell you, I went somewhere on my vacation and I ordered a supreme pizza from somewhere, and it was just a small little place, and I had to take it back because it was so doughy and the dough was raw. So how are you able to get all those toppings on there and still get such a crispy crust? Because I've seen the failures time and time again. And there probably are some people listening to this podcast, and you know who you are, probably have a dough that is not getting cooked all the way through because of the toppings.
That's actually one of the beauties of the Middleby Marshall oven. Is there are air fingers on the top and the bottom. So you can add more air fingers to the bottom to get the crust cooking properly, and lessen the ones on top so it's not burning all the toppings or anything. So we just, it was a little bit of trial and error when we got this oven to figure out exactly where it needed to be on it. But it, as it enters the chamber, we have a lot more fingers on the bottom in the back half of it to start cooking of the dough process immediately. And then it trails off a little bit as it gets to the front, and the top is actually pretty consistent all the way through to just slowly brown and melt and cook all of the stuff on.
I getcha. I was going to ask something else about the crust, and I don't remember. Okay, but I will follow it up with this question. Okay, so you're a destination. You get people coming from all over the place. Is there anything you're noticing that people love, like that is consistent across wherever they're coming from, like whether it's a topping or a way they're doing the things? Like what's really popular with you guys?
Gosh, that's a tough. I guess I would have to say our most our three most popular pizzas are going to be obviously pepperoni combo, which has a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And over the years, the Hawaiian with ham and pineapple, I know it's a
Oh,
controversy.
we're very pro pineapple. Yeah, pizza today. We are in pineapple camp.
But it's extremely popular. I mean, it's our third best selling pizza. People really like. And then we also, do a little bit of variation on that and add some either jalapenos or pepperoncinis to it, so you get the hot and the sweet together.
And that's perfect. Have you joined the pickle crusade yet?
It's not an advertised menu item.
Okay.
However, there are some people who will ask for diced pickles on their pizza, and we'll put it on. I make just for myself personally, every once in a while, I'll make a bacon cheeseburger pizza that I do a sauce out of ketchup and mustard, and put bacon and ground beef and cheese and stuff on it, and then put diced pickles afterwards, and it's fantastic.
So how did you get into Oregon Stop? Like, how did you become a part of this organization?
Yeah, that was my next question as well.
Because it wasn't you 50 years ago,
right?
Unless you were
no, not quite. Actually, the original Mesa Oregon Stop location opened in 1975. My family and I moved to Arizona in 73. And Oregon Stop was essentially in my backyard. It was like 2 blocks away from my house. So I grew up going there. And then when I turned 16, I needed a job and didn't want to work fast food and didn't have a car. So I could walk to Oregon Stop. So I applied and got hired and started working making pizzas and as a dishwasher, and kind of just grew my way into it. While I was in high school, they promoted me to a supervisory position, and I really started loving the hospitality industry and worked there as a supervisor for a few years, and then found out that Northern Arizona University, which is about 2.5 hours north of Mesa, they offered a bachelor's degree in hotel restaurant management. So I went up there and got my degree. And at that same time as I was getting ready to graduate, the owners decided to build this new 700-seat building, and they needed a new manager, or just to help out with things. And so they asked if I wanted to come back on graduation, and I said sure, and eventually was able to buy into the place.
Oh, that's amazing. That's such a great story of being able to grow through. Because I worked in restaurants, all from the time I was 16 until I left college. And that's a neat story. I love it.
That is a good story.
I never expected 37 years after I started there, I'd still be there.
You're like a 16-year-old kid, man. I just want to work in this pizzeria. It's going to be great. Then,
I wanted to be a commercial airline pilot.
Oh, that's fun.
You're flying high in your own right. So 50 years. So how are you celebrating the 50 years with your customers? Are you actively sending out messaging to your customer base that, hey, we're 50, it's a big deal, or are you just kind of letting it slide?
No, we started on August 20th or August 24th, something like that. Our 50 days to celebrate 50 years of fun campaign. So the main thing that we're doing is a $50 package deal. That it's a smoking deal. $50 gets you 2 large pizzas, 2 appetizers, and 2 pitchers of soda.
Wow, that is
So I mean, you can serve cheap. 6 to 8 people for $50. So it's a great deal. That has just been amazing. But then we're also doing nightly giveaways. The managers, supervisors, and organists are all just randomly picking people or doing little trivia contests and stuff like that to give away a bunch of free stuff. We got a ton of support from local media. So they've been doing live shots from the restaurant for us during this time, and other interviews and stuff to really get people excited about it. It's been, September is typically our slowest month of the year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this has been the busiest September we've ever had in history.
I would think so.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's been a really successful campaign. It's coming to an end. This coming Saturday is October 8th is the last day to to do this, but
that's okay.
you know,
Just
it's
tack
been
on
a great
more
time.
National Pizza Month stuff. You'll be good.
Well, you know what? We don't know what we're going to do afterwards. We'll probably still do some kind of fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty awesome. You know, the one thing that I was curious about is with the famous Oregon and with being a destination, do you have a strong merch program? Do you have Do you have a merchandising program? Do you have like shirts and hats or anything that you guys sell to your customers?
We have shirts, coffee mugs, shot glasses, lapel pins, some keychains, pens. That little tchotchke stuff. One of the things here in Arizona, there's a company that started State 48, which is, you know, Arizona's a 48 state. So they started this State 48 branding, and they build, you know, State 48 stuff for all kinds of different restaurants, banks, whatever, you know, local chambers of commerce and that kind of stuff. So our most popular shirt is our State 48 shirt. So it's, you know, it's people that want the Oregon stop, and there is like a cult following for people who want State 48 stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yeah, it's really cool. So we get it from both sides because they want the Oregon stop and they want the State 48. So, you know, it's a really cool shirt. I wish I was wearing it. But, you know, so that's like a really cool thing. But yeah, people love, and then another thing that we have, there's a local company, actually he's based out of Branson, and he does these playing cards for like tourist cities. And so it's really cool. So like, you know, we're the, I think, King of Spades or Ace of Spades in the restaurant section. So we sell tons of decks of cards that, you know, have Oregon stuff in there. But yeah, most people want the smaller type of stuff, pins and pens and that kind of thing.
I get you. So after 50 years, what's next? What are you thinking about next for the
retirement?
Retirement. I love. Okay, so
I wish.
Who's gonna get it then?
No. You know, just continuing to grow it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's such an institution to so many people, so many, you know, we have families that have been celebrating Christmas with us every Christmas Eve for the last 45 or 50 years. You know, they started as a smaller group of, you know, 10 or 12 people that would come in on Christmas Eve. Our largest family now, they're up to about 110 or 120 people that every Christmas Eve, they have their reservation at Oregon Stop and they come in to celebrate Christmas with us.
Yeah.
So it's a really, you know, we mean so much to so many people. You know, music touches your heart.
Absolutely.
And people will come in and, you know, we'll have people that come in and they'll email us afterwards saying, you know, you were my dad's favorite restaurant. And so I got to go experience, and I, you know, requested his favorite song, and, you know, he's no longer with us, but it was nice. I could see him sitting there and I got to cry over it. And, you know, so it's very emotional to go in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not going
anywhere. Awesome. You know, Jeremy, what I'm always curious about, because, you know, you go to piano bars and they'll be like, oh no, we can't hear the piano man anymore. I'm just done. What do you think is the most popular song? What's the most played, like one or two songs right now that your customers are just like, I don't know if they put in a piece of paper or whatever to ask, you know, for songs, but what is the most popular?
The Oregon program is based solely on requests only.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do have, you know, once again, old school little sheets of paper that they fill out.
That's what we did when I was one.
The most popular request of all times is the theme from the Phantom of the Opera.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
people want to hear, because I mean the organs just
because the organs are just.
I'd love to hear that. That is my favorite music. Yeah,
that's on
awesome.
YouTube. Go to YouTube. You can find it.
Next time we're in Phoenix, Jeremy.
No, I need to hear it in person. It's not going to do it justice hearing on my crappy laptop speakers.
Yeah.
But then, like, the second most popular one right now is "Let It Go" from Frozen. Like,
oh yeah,
I mean, like seriously, that just gets requested all night long.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. But you know, our two newer organists, they're pretty good about playing stuff that is more obscure, that not a lot of people do request. So both of them, they either have their iPad or their iPhone up at the console, and if people request something that they don't really know, they'll just pull up the sheet music for it and just kind of start playing along.
Wow, that's
you know,
a
just
talent.
It's pretty impressive. You know, one of the organists, he actually, if he can't find the sheet music for it, he'll pull something up on YouTube and start listening to it. And he'll play about 2 measures behind what he's listening to.
Wow.
So
I mean, that's talent. My goodness.
They're both amazing. You know, we're blessed. We are so absolutely blessed to have our 2 organists. They're just fantastic guys. And, you know, we couldn't do it without them.
That's great.
Amazing.
Well, I thank you so much for coming on the show today. And if y'all don't know, you can check out Jack in the latest issue of Pizza Today, because he is in there in our conversation in the latest issue. So you can actually see the organ and see Jack's face.
And congratulations on 50 years. That is a major milestone.
Yeah, so, congrats.
Kudos.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, you have a wonderful day, and you're a couple hours behind us, so you're still in the morning hours. So
yeah, my day is still starting.
Okay. Well, you take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet.
See you.